Tonight, breaking news in the Nancy Guthrie investigation. The 84-year-old last seen 2 weeks ago tonight. New details on the race to unmask this suspect. Late last night, police descending on 2 locations near her home.
I'm Andres Gutierrez in Tucson, Arizona, with you reporting on the concrete clues and fizzled leads in a case that has captivated the nation.
Also tonight, funding fight. The government partially shut down as Congress feuds over ICE. Who's working and who's not. Transatlantic tensions.
For the United States and Europe, we belong together.
The Secretary of State's message to European leaders.
I'm Olivia Gazis at the Munich Security Conference, where Secretary Rubio said the U.S. and Europe belong together, while still warning allies to prepare to defend themselves.
Severe weather. A sprawling storm threatens to swamp the south, while a burst of snow heads for the northeast. At the Winter Olympics, the latest wins and controversy. This curling match rocked by flaring tempers and cheating accusations.
I'm Kelly O'Grady in Milan, where Team USA is finding success in the games and in love.
All that, plus it's Valentine's Day, the last-minute rush for flowers as the color of love blooms.
I'm Allie Bauman in New York. Love hurts, and this year it'll also be painful for your wallet. I'll tell you why.
This is the CBS Weekend News from New York with Jerika Duncan.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us this Saturday. Tonight marks 2 weeks since 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie was last seen by her family. Late last night, there was a flurry of police activity in Tucson, Arizona at 2 locations. It raised hopes of a break in the case as investigators raced to unmask this suspect captured on video the night Guthrie disappeared. CBS's Andres Gutierrez is in Tucson, Arizona with the very latest tonight. Andres.
Good evening, Jerika. There were 2 searches at 2 different locations here in Tucson, but still no one is under arrest in the disappearance of the 84-year-old grandmother.
Late Friday night, law enforcement flooded a neighborhood about 2 miles from Nancy Guthrie's home as investigators executed a search warrant at this residence.
The police didn't tell us anything, so we don't know.
SWAT and forensics teams following leads in Guthrie's disappearance.
This is really shocking crime, and people are really frightened.
Later, at a nearby restaurant, officers surrounded this SUV and questioned a driver for hours. But again, no one was taken into custody.
It was a Friday night during the middle of the dinner rush, so I think they had their part of the parking lot completely blocked off.
It has been 2 weeks since Nancy Guthrie disappeared. This week, the FBI released the first physical description of the armed individual seen on her doorbell camera. The man is 5'9" to 5'10", with an average build and wearing a black Ozark Trail hiker backpack like the one shown in these photos. The backpack is sold exclusively at Walmart. Sources tell CBS News law enforcement officials reviewed video at this Walmart location in Tucson. Local law enforcement officials say they've processed fingerprints and DNA evidence. Neighbors are united in hoping for Guthrie's safe return.
There has been no sign of life, but I'm going to tell you, too, there's been no sign of death.
The FBI has doubled its reward money to $100,000 for any information leading to her safe return or an arrest in her disappearance. Jerika?
Yeah, so many people praying for that family. Andres, thank you. Tonight, a big part of the federal government has ground to a halt in a dispute over the Trump administration's immigration crackdown. CBS's Willie James Enman is in West Palm Beach, Florida, near the president's home with new details on who is impacted. Willie James.
Jerika, good evening to you. Lawmakers left Washington without a deal to fully fund DHS, and that means more than 260,000 government employees face the possibility of working without a paycheck in a matter of weeks. TSA workers at the nation's airports this weekend assumed a familiar role today, the face of the latest impasse in Congress. The Coast Guard and FEMA also on the job without pay, with lawmakers failing to fund the Department of Homeland Security with no deal in sight.
I know what they want. I know what they can live with. The Democrats have gone crazy. Stay back.
The partial shutdown sparked by backlash over federal immigration officer tactics in Minnesota, leading to the deaths of 2 Americans. Renee Good and Alex Preddy were remembered at a community gathering Saturday. Democrats sticking with their demands, including a ban on face masks for immigration agents, a requirement for officers to show ID, and wear body cameras.
The only way to ensure that ICE is actually reined in is to change things dramatically, boldly, meaningfully through legislation, and that's what this shutdown showdown is all about.
Tens of billions in previous funding allows ICE and Customs and Border Protection to operate during the shutdown, prompting Pennsylvania Democrat John Fetterman to question its impact.
Why are all the Democrats going to shut down our entire DHS when we all know that it has no impact on ICE?
Also on Friday, a federal judge in Boston ordered the Trump administration to return college freshman Annie Lucia Lopez Belloza to the U.S. within 2 weeks after she was wrongfully deported to Honduras.
20-year-old Belloza was taken into custody at Boston's Logan Airport before she was deported in November against a court order. And Jerika, she was on her way to visit her family for Thanksgiving.
Willie James Enman, thank you. Tonight, no end to U.S. military action in the waters off Venezuela. The U.S. Southern Command says a strike Friday night killed 3 people and blew up a boat in the Caribbean Sea. That pushed the death toll in the Trump administration's 5-month-old campaign against suspected drug smugglers at sea to 133. Today, thousands of people rallied in cities around the world for regime change in Iran. One of the largest demonstrations was in Munich, where an estimated 200,000 erupted in cheers when Reza Pahlavi, the son of the deposed Shah, took the stage. He told the crowds he's ready to lead a transition to a secular democracy. Also in Munich today, a charm offensive of sorts by Secretary of State Marco Rubio. He spoke to European leaders attending the annual Munich Security Conference. CBS's Olivia Gazis is there for us tonight with more on that. Olivia.
Jerika, Secretary of State Marco Rubio took a notably softer tone than the combative address delivered here by Vice President J.D. Vance last year. But the message from the U.S. to Europe remains one of tough love.
For us Americans, our home may be in the Western Hemisphere, but we will always be a child of Europe.
Rubio offering Europe warm words for the past, but a warning for the future.
We want allies who can defend themselves so that no adversary will ever be tempted to test our collective strength.
European leaders signaling they've gotten the message, touting a boom in defense spending and raising the possibility of a joint European nuclear deterrent.
I believe that Europe is inherently strong and can be made even stronger yet.
Britain also flexing its muscles. Prime Minister Keir Starmer announced it would send its largest warship to the Atlantic, a new push to defend the Arctic and push back against President Trump's destabilizing bid for Greenland.
As I see it, Europe is a sleeping giant. Our economies dwarf Russia's more than 10 times over.
Also speaking today, Ukrainian President Zelensky, he warned the war with Russia is far from over, saying nearly every power station in Ukraine has been hit, adding to civilian suffering this harsh winter.
During this war, weapons evolve faster than political decisions meant to stop them.
And European allies revealed today that Russian dissident Alexei Navalny was poisoned by a rare toxin while jailed in Russia. Jerika, news of Navalny's death first emerged during this same conference 2 years ago.
Olivia Gazis in Munich, Germany, thank you. Now to the love of sport and the ruins of war. Take a look at this. Today, 2 soccer teams played on a new field in Gaza City. The artificial turf was put down on an area cleared of debris, reclaiming fragments of an ordinary life. To the Winter Olympics in Italy, tonight U.S. downhill great Lindsey Vonn is recovering from her 4th round of surgery following her crash. On the rink, another win for Team USA. They beat Denmark 6-3. Brazil's Lucas Pinheiro Bratton won the giant slalom, earning South America's first medal at the Winter Games. And Sweden's Ebba Andersson didn't let her team down. Her ski binding broke, forcing her to race on one leg for more than 30 seconds, helping her team win silver. CBS's Kelly O'Grady is covering it all from Milan and has the very latest. Kelly, good evening.
Jerika, we are halfway through the Winter Games, and athletes and fans are fully immersed in the Olympic spirit here in Milan. Team USA has experienced triumph and heartbreak, but there are many reasons to cheer along.
Let's go, USA!
American fans are flooding the streets of Milan to root for the stars of Team USA, like speed skater Jordan Stolz picking up his second gold these games in the 500-meter in a record skate. Skiers Jalen Koff and Elizabeth Lemley also added to their medal collection with a silver in the women's dual moguls. In curling, both the men's and women's teams picked up wins, while Team Canada rocked by accusations of cheating by Sweden, tempers flaring, the language also getting hot. But some athletes are celebrating more than just competition this Valentine's Day. Today, spouses Kim Mailemans and Nicole Severa raced for gold in the women's skeleton, competing for different countries and against each other. Olympic champion skier Breezy Johnson picked up some additional hardware at these games when now fiance Connor Watkins proposed after her final run.
Sometimes you feel like your personal life and your professional life are kind of fighting against each other, and it was cool this week to have them both be going in the same direction.
U.S. women's hockey captain Hillary Knight and speed skater Brittany Bowe fell in love at the Beijing Games. Married U.S. ice dancers Madison Chalk and Evan Bates say their partnership off the ice enhances their performance on.
It certainly helps to have somebody by your side all the time. I think we've been through all the ups and downs that this career has had to offer.
But Team USA fans are locked in on the competition, especially men's hockey.
How does it feel to be an Olympian?
Feels pretty unreal. I think once you step on the ice and you hear the crowd kind of settle into it a little bit, and as a dream come true for sure.
Skiing star Michaela Schifrin of Vail, Colorado will compete in the giant slalom race tomorrow. After a disappointing women's combined event, she says she's adjusted her performance and is excited for what's next. Jerika?
And we're excited for her. Kelly O'Grady, thank you. Here's a look at the medal count tonight. Norway tops the 93 countries competing at the Milano Cortina Winter Games in both total medals and golds. The U.S. is third. Always a chance to move on up, though. To the weather now, and a threat for the South this weekend. Let's check in with meteorologist Bill Kelly at our CBS station in Philadelphia. Bill.
Well, good evening, Jerika. Yeah, we have to keep a very close eye on this storm into the deep south. 1 to 3 inches of rainfall as this storm system moves across. Plus, you see this area of yellow? That's a level 2 risk for severe storms, including the possibility of tornadoes. And that storm is going to work across the deep south. It will be around tomorrow through parts of the panhandle of Florida and southern Georgia. This will be during the daytime. It will bring a lot of rain, strong winds, some hail, and again, the potential for a tornado. You get to the north part of this storm, though, up through parts of the Northeast, this is where we could be dealing with a little snow. Philly, New York, Long Island, just south of Boston. Not a big deal, but a couple of inches possible in spots. Something certainly to keep in sight. Now, your day tomorrow, another one of our big stories, the warm air making its way up the nation's midsection, and this goes into your Monday and into Tuesday, where Omaha may hit 75 for the second time this month, believe it or not. And also want to point out next week, out west, we're talking about a lot of rain and a lot of snow for the Sierra Nevada range. Jerika?
All right, Bill Kelly, thank you. Straight ahead on the CBS Weekend News, she made these California Eagles a global sensation. Tonight, we remember a conservation champion. But first, this story.
I'm Allie Bauman in New York. Love don't cost a thing, but this Valentine's Day will. Why this could be your most expensive year yet. Next on the CBS Weekend News.
February 14th has been Valentine's Day since the end of the 5th century, but it was an English poet, Geoffrey Chaucer, who gave the day its romantic meaning. CBS's Allie Bauman in New York explains romance still rules, but it's going to cost you. Allie.
Good evening, Jerika. Those gifts you buy to say I love you, like chocolate, jewelry, and flowers, well, inflation has made them all more expensive this year. Love is in the air, and specially wrapped, too.
It's $10 each. Do you want to do 4 and 3?
Valentine's Day is the busiest time of year for New York florist Yossi Ben-Amou.
Everybody wants to come home with flowers.
But this year, prepping for big business came with some heartache.
We have to cut corners here and there, but we have to make it.
Ben-Amou says tariffs have made his costs the highest they've ever been in his 2 decades as the shop's owner. His flowers imported from South American countries like Ecuador and Colombia.
How much more expensive is a batch of roses, a dozen roses, compared to years past?
The 10 to 17% tariffs.
Valentine's Day favorites hit by price inflation. Flowers and jewelry up about 26% over the last 5 years. Chocolate over 75%.
We've had the same recipe for 103 years.
Christopher Taylor owns Lilac Chocolate in New York.
I did not detect customer appetite to accept higher prices.
Consumers are expected to spend nearly $200 on average for Valentine's Day gifts this year. That is an all-time high.
This is a special day. I just try to make it worth a while.
The National Retail Federation says people who can afford it will spend even more.
We saw that drive a lot of the growth.
Ben Amou says he's eating costs to keep prices the same and consumers buying.
I want to see these customers coming back to me with a smile.
Even love notes have gotten more expensive. Data shows the average cost of a greeting card has gone up 31% over the past decade. But, Tarika, you can probably get a good deal on flowers tomorrow.
And there's always the good old-fashioned homemade card. Allie Bauman, thank you. Still ahead on the CBS Weekend News, why is there such a mad dash in this river in Nigeria? The answer when we come back.
Dragon SpaceX on the big loop. Dragon contact and soft capture complete.
Tonight, 4 members of NASA's SpaceX crew docked with the International Space Station. They blasted off Friday, returning the orbit outpost to full staff after last month's first ever medical evacuation. Here on Earth, a spontaneous start today that took spectators by surprise. 40,000 people took part in a fishing expedition in Nigeria. It's one of West Africa's most storied cultural festivals. Crowds, as you see there, rushed into the river with nets and fishing tools in their hands, all before the official start. To California now, and 2 wildly popular lovebirds. Bald eagles Jackie and Shadow have been featured in several stories right here on this broadcast. The live webcams of their nest have captured every moment of their lives above Big Bear Lake, seen by millions worldwide. Well, it was all made possible by conservation champion Sandy Steers, a biologist who headed up the nonprofit Friends of Big Bear Valley. This week, we learned Steers had died of cancer. Sandy Steers was 73. Next on the CBS Weekend News, heated rivalry on ice. We head to San Francisco for the love of the game. But first, a look back at this day in history.
This is the White House, as seen from its south lawn.
Mrs. Kennedy, I want to thank you for letting us visit your official home.
Wilt the Stilt racks up 24 points and 23 rebounds.
We end tonight with a story about hockey that skyrocketed to popularity not by scoring goals, but by shattering stereotypes. In tonight's Weekend Journal, CBS's Itai Hot in San Francisco shows us how a groundbreaking TV series is changing the game.
Last November, something shifted in the world of hockey. The change didn't arrive at a press conference or a glitzy campaign. Instead, it came quietly, almost unnoticed at first.
I never thought in all my life that gay hockey would be in such a spotlight.
Dom Granado grew up on the ice. He says the game was in his blood, even when at times it felt cold in more ways than one.
I just didn't really think that being gay and being a hockey player was a possibility.
That all changed 7 years ago when Granado joined the San Francisco Earthquakes, one of the oldest LGBTQ ice hockey teams in the country. For years, the team skated mostly under the radar, until last fall.
Canada-Russia final showcasing the 2 most talked about prospects in the world.
The catalyst, a surprisingly spicy Canadian television series called Heated Rivalry. A steamy love story between 2 hockey players that blew up far beyond anyone's expectations.
I never thought that it would be something on my mom's Instagram feed or my dad's Instagram feed.
According to ticketing platform SeatGeek, NHL ticket sales jumped more than 20% after the show's first episodes aired.
Have you watched it?
The series even caught the eye of NHL Commissioner Gary Bettman.
I binged it in one night. I thought the storyline was very compelling.
It's amazing.
Pratik Kumar is one of just 2 straight players on the San Francisco Earthquakes.
It's not too spicy for you? It's a little spicy, but I am Indian, so I can handle the spice.
In the end, the success of heated rivalry may not be the ratings or the buzz, but in the barriers it's melting on the ice and beyond. Itai Had, CBS News, San Francisco.
And that is the CBS Weekend News for this Saturday. I'm Jerika Duncan in New York. We thank you for watching, and we hope to see you tomorrow.